BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. And there's more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino. All the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino action. So BetOnline, the game starts here.
So we got our boy here, Randy Vasquez, who you also pitched for the Padres, right?
Yeah, I saw that a few years ago. There was a guy that got traded to the Padres that had my name.
Yeah. Okay.
I had fun with that on Facebook. I said, "Hey, after all these years, I finally made it
to the majors."
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh, I was going to ask you guys, do you think we're all having fun with the Grande Americano character? How far do you think you can take like a racial sort of character in today?
It's not a racial character, though.
It's not. But what I wanted to ask you guys,
but you just said it was.
Like, well, I implied
you're
it.
You're implying that it is. Yeah, but it's just a guy. It's a wrestler that's mocking lucha. He's mocking lucha libre wrestling. So how do you make fun of them? It's like you dress up like one of them, and and then call yourself like pretend you're an actual luchador.
I love that.
Nothing racist.
I'm not offended. I'm not offended by anything.
You are offended.
No, I'm not saying from the general perspective of it is the people that are complaining. Yeah.
Who's complaining?
So like,
a lot of people are complaining. People complain about everything. You could give people a gold bar, and they'd be, there's a scratch in the corner. People just want to, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not complaining about it, but I want to know, how far can you take it?
You can take it as far as you want. A mass versus mass match, a championship match. You can do anything you want with him, like just any character. The problem here, Randy,
they obviously pulled back. They don't do the Gulf of America thing anymore.
All right,
I think they went back to it.
Did they go back to it?
No, they didn't. It was announced by the announcer.
It was an accident? Okay.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask, I don't know if you guys were watching at this time, but probably 10 years ago, they were pushing R-Truth as a heel.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember the little Jimmy thing? It turned into a thing where that was an imaginary character that he saw.
Right.
Yeah.
But at first, he would say he was feuding with John Cena, and he'd say, "Oh, I know you got to make all the little Jimmys happy out there," meaning like all those little white boys have to be made happy so their hero can be. And I feel like they pulled back on it where they really could have had a lot of meat on the bone there.
I thought that was great.
Where someone was being held back, and what his view of reality was, he was being held back by that. Or even when Triple H was feuding with Booker T at WrestleMania, and Ric Flair told Booker T, "You're the type of guy that drives my car, not the type of guy that drives my limo, not the type of guy that is the world champion."
Well, bro, in
this day and age, can you still go there? Because I think.
Okay, let me just say this: at the end of the day, bro, wrestling's always been behind the curve on racial sensitivity, whether it's black, white, Samoan, Japanese, whoever it is. Now they've done a great job, just like society, of giving them their due respect. But before we were more ignorant. You know what I'm saying? It was culturally acceptable. You know what I'm saying? And you can get away with stuff. You just can't be outwardly racial. You have to be very funny and kind of subtle about it. But it's a parody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
I can't wait for the mask versus mask match, honestly, when it happens.
This is where it's mirrored, is that they've taken it as you take things as far as the media will let you go. Okay? Because back in the years back when Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov were singing the Russian national anthem in the middle of the ring. Okay? During that period of time, on the news, Iranians and Russians were the news is portraying that there are our mortal enemies. You know what I'm saying? So we were just taking people that we were demonizing in the news and take those characters and put them on TV. Now, of course, wrestling, as the media has become far more sensitive and everybody's become more sensitive, you can't really stretch the limits of stereotypes.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because right, so because people now will jump on the stereotypes and point out, well, that's what you're just doing, a stereotype of a character. But it's like, guys, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, maybe it is, but these are characters.
Exactly.
These are not like these are not like actual like portraying.
Plus, I think the most important part I think the most important part is it demeaning Mexicans? No, it isn't.
No.
And I think that's
it's more making fun of Chad Gable. Like he went into a Starbucks, looked up at the menu, and saw Grande Americano and decided to name
like if you remember the lawnmower thing, the Mexicos, that was very demeaning.
You
know,
that was absurd,
I also thought the piñatas was demeaning.
Right.
When the lucha party.
But here's the level of offense that El Grande Americano has now. It's just only really goes to the point that the Mexican fans are treating him like a heel character on TV and booing the guy. That's the heat he's getting. They're not taking it super far. They're just taking like, oh, you're disrespecting Mexico, boo. Like I'm just saying, but they're not like saying like it's like the Washington Redskins argument. Like where like the name itself is. What is a Redskin? But I'm saying, but like, isn't it fascinating that the Atlanta Braves that survived?
Mm-hmm.
The Braves. Well, they'll survive because a Brave is an Indian warrior.
Well, they don't want you guys to do the actual definition. They don't want you to do the tomahawk anymore.
He can't. No, they do it all the time.
Yeah, but they don't want to.
No, James. No, they do. They beat the drum at the games. Boom, 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 boom. They still do it. All right. Yeah. And the tomahawk chant is a Indian war dance.
Yeah.
Indians literally would go the night before they go into combat, would sit around a fire, bang the drums, and do war dances. Mm-hmm. So, like, banging the drums and doing, like, simulating a war dance while you're sitting in the middle of your seat, there's nothing racial about that at all. It's just cool. Like, your team's going to combat. All right, here we come, and it looks cool, and it sounds cool.
It's a lot of these days, man, very, very low energy, like, low frequency thinking. With these generalizations, like they see luchador, they know that it's very rich in the culture of Mexico. So to see Gable doing this character, all of a sudden it's racist,
Right. Here's the thing.
It's very silly. But I do like with his character that Gable, when he's Gable, will still lose to the luchadors.
Right.
He needs to put on the superhero suit to be able to beat the luchadors.
Yeah.
So I like that character a lot.
That's what I mean. As long as he loses at the end, because with you brought up Booker T and Triple H, they did kind of a racial angle, and it was kind of a redo because back in the day, Ron Simmons and Vader, Harley Race talked to Ron Simmons like that. Back in the day, you'd have my driver called him boy, but Ron Simmons won the belt. In the Triple H Booker T angle, they demeaned Booker and did some racial, and then Hunter beat him. So there was no payoff for Booker.
Hit the pedigree and waited 30 seconds to cover him.
Yeah.
And then,
That was rough.
Yeah, my wife thinks that gimmick is hilarious too. The Grande Americano, like we passed the Starbucks.
Right.
And she was
I order one every day.
It's great. It's a great character.
Yeah.
I think it makes fun of Chad more than it makes fun of luchadors.
Yeah,
it's just funny. It's a comical. The fact is that like not.
Bro, let me just tell you the difference. I'm going to tell you the difference. When I was in WCW and other companies like TNA, Hispanics would not be listened to. They couldn't speak up. If they did speak up, which was usually me,
Grande Americano.
Yeah,
those are my Grande Americano too.
Which was usually me, bro. You'd get heat. Suspended, fired, and all three happened to me, right? Now they're a lot more outspoken, and Latinos, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's worth saying. In the next 20 years, Latinos will be the majority in the workforce, okay? In the next 40 years, not just Latinos, all minorities will be the majority in the United States, and minorities and the whites will actually be the minority. How demographics change. So they understand that we have the political power, we have, they have to cater to us respectfully.
I don't even I'm one of 7 or 8 people at work that we're all mixed.
Right.
My dad's Mexican, my mom's white. I look white, but I got the last name and everything. So, but there's a bunch of us that are like that. So it could be even more than that.
Bro, Mexico's a beautiful culture. Study up on it if you haven't. Beautiful, beautiful culture.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.